Today, we're going to get into a pretty wild story about survival. It's about how one person's desperate search for work in London completely snowballed into this super efficient, totally underground support system for a whole community. Right off the bat, this one sentence just throws you into the world we're about to explore. There are no contracts here, no security. Every single interaction is a gamble. You can just feel the frustration in this quote, dealing with someone who was way more trouble than he was worth. So long before our guy became this central figure, he was just like anyone else out there, caught in that relentless day-in, day-out grind. We're talking about the constant and, honestly, often humiliating hustle just to survive in a city like London.
Okay, so his first shot at trying to connect someone with a job, it goes horribly wrong. He finds work for this guy, takes a small fee for his trouble, but then it turns out the man is, well, he's just completely useless at the job. And he complains so much that our narrator has to give him his money back, plus extra, just to get rid of him. A complete and total loss.
All right, attempt number 2. He tries his luck as a kitchen porter. The owner of the cafe asks him where he's from. He says Lithuania. The owner's like, oh, Vilnius is the capital, right? He says, yeah, sure. Then the owner goes, wait, no, isn't it Kaunas? And he just agrees again. The owner just looks at him, and he knows. Right then, the gig is up. He just walks out, totally embarrassed. And this is just classic. It shows you that whole frustrating cycle of getting your hopes up just to have them dashed. He goes to a local car wash, asks if they need any part-time help. They take his number, say we'll call you, and of course, the phone never ever rings. Just another dead end. So after all these failures, right when things are looking pretty grim, a single phone call comes in, and it changes his entire life. This is that moment where the hustle starts to morph into something way, way bigger. The call's from an agent, a guy named Ben. And he just asks, do you want a full-time job at ONYX? Full-time? I mean, after hitting so many dead ends, an offer like that, it's like a lifeline. He immediately says yes. Of course he says yes. Now, you really have to understand what the words full-time mean in this world. It's not just about a steady paycheck. No, it's stability in a life that is pure chaos. It gives you leverage. It's your first real foothold in a system that's basically designed to keep people like you out. So his first day isn't exactly glamorous. A woman asks him to clear this absolute mountain of trash from her garden. He tells her it'll be £10. She actually haggles him down to 5. So he spends the rest of his day packing up her private garbage into official ONYX company bags. It just goes to show, even with a real job, the hustle never really stops. But that foothold, that's all he needed. It let him pivot, and we start to see him slowly change from a guy who's desperately looking for work into the guy everyone comes to for work. He becomes the fixer. And you can see how it happens step by step. First, a friend asks for help giving his girlfriend papers. He shows her the ropes. Then, a complete stranger comes up to him on a bus, says he heard he was the person who could find a job for his wife. And then, the final step, the agent, Ben, starts calling him directly to fill jobs when he's in a jam. He's not just a worker anymore, he's a resource. And just how valuable a resource was he? Well, that stranger on the bus, he told him that someone else had offered to sell him his phone number for £100. His contact info alone became this hot commodity in the underground economy. So he's built this informal network, but it's incredibly effective. And now we get to see that network get put to the ultimate test. This is the moment that shows just how powerful his little system has become. He gets a call from his old friend Ruslan, who's at Victoria Station. See, Ruslan was on a cruise, part of a tour group, and he, technically got lost. He has nothing. No papers, no place to stay, no job. He is starting from absolute zero. Now, just look at how fast this all happens. This is not a scramble. This is a well-oiled machine. He gives Ruslan a ready-made fake identity, Thomas Zebroskos. He gets him a fake work permit. He gives him a bank account number he can use, and then he sends him straight to Ben for a job. The whole thing takes like a couple of hours. I mean, think about that. A guy shows up in London with literally just the clothes on his back. And within hours, he has a new name, fake papers, a bank account, and a job at ONYX on a route that's known for getting good tips. The system, it worked perfectly. So this whole story, it started as just one guy's personal hustle, but it clearly turned into something so much more.
It actually evolved into a real system of survival for people living on the absolute fringes of society.
This really puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? On the outside of this network, life is just a constant, lonely struggle. It's full of dead ends. You're completely at the mercy of other people. But on the inside, there's this incredibly fast, incredibly effective support system built on nothing more than mutual aid and pure resourcefulness.
And that kind of leaves us with one last question to think about. Is this whole thing just a criminal network built on forgery and fake documents? Or is it something else? Is it a community that was built out of pure necessity, a lifeline for people who have absolutely no other options? It's a complicated reality for sure, and definitely something worth thinking about.